Out of the dusty and clustered urban settlements of Mzansi, townships are born, culture is born. We not raised by the invasions of 1652, laws of 1948, and the Act of 1950. Although we are systematic casualties, we remain steadfast and pregnant with ideas, visions, and the urge to exceed the wider gates that lead to destruction. It's 2023. Classified culture is born. We are delighted to serve you.
Classified. Ayivele sesicalile ke.
Going home,
I'm going home,
I'm
going home to die
I know.
no more. Yeah! I'm sure you guys are wondering why we're starting with this song now. And you're also wondering why I'm waiting these things. Why? Because of the topic of today, of which we will discuss it. By the way, Mzansi, welcome to Classified Culture Podcast.
No, I thought you weren't gonna greet our viewers. How's it, everyone? How's it? Welcome back. Another episode of Classified Culture Podcast. It's episode 3 today that we're shooting.
Yeah, episode 3.
And yeah, another deliverance of exciting topics,
Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing. We see good numbers. We see you guys. And for those that haven't subscribed, guys, let's get like shoot this. Another interesting topic today.
Yeah. Guys, please, and I want to address something, and
Yeah.
before we continue, and especially regarding the YouTube thing,
Okay.
guys, please, when you subscribe to our channel, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna pay anything, guys.
Mm-mm.
You're not gonna pay nothing.
Mm.
It's just hitting that subscribe button, guys. Please, because I've met a lot of people on a big beach whom I've asked, guys, have you subscribed?
Yeah.
And people literally tell me, no, I don't
Not
want
valid.
Yeah, I don't want my card being,
Yeah.
taken money from. I'm like, no,
Nah,
it's
nah,
just
nah. It's okay, guys. You can subscribe. It's
yes,
for free.
please, guys, it's for free, and it would really mean a lot for us. If you subscribe, it means we growing,
Yep.
and by growing means the content keeps on going and
Yep.
becoming hotter and hotter.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, we really hope that you enjoyed episode 2. Although it was a bit lengthy, we do take note of that, but
Yep.
of course we had to cover like a
No,
lot.
no, no. It was a lot.
It was,
That we had to
but
cover. It was a lot of people, but then we do note
yeah,
some of the people that said that perhaps we need to make it a little bit shorter, perhaps an hour.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we thank you for the views, and we really like really appreciate guys. I mean your inputs and everything that you've been doing.
Yep.
My brother.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, how was your week, my brother?
No, my week was amazing, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was very productive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when so many things have happened. And one of those things, but I don't want to talk about this one because it's something that we won't
Yeah.
cover on Classified. But it's about some musicians there in the United States. So I don't want to talk about that. But something that I can talk about is that the ANC
Well,
over the
okay.
weekend was 112 years old. So they were celebrating, and I think every January on the 8th, they've got a celebration.
Yeah.
So they celebrated something like that on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's something worth celebrating about the ANC, but I guess the fact that the liberation movement, that brought democracy to us, I guess that's a celebration. So congratulations and big up to ANC.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Now I had a very busy week, bro.
Yeah. Tell
It's
us.
very, very busy, bro. I mean, obviously, when you want things done, you got to do them yourself, So, but not to say that I'm complaining, but it was very busy, hectic week, But of course, it will get better, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to the guys.
Yeah. So I've got Yem Tanzani, I've got Paula, da Mpumalanga da, and I've got Mafike. Mafike ngasikasi though, hey. Yeah, Rob. I've got Pabani.
Shout out to Eldorado Park. Shout out to Notre Dame. Shout out to Westbury. Gotta give my people love. the
Yeah.
colored community. Yeah, we give love to that.
Shout out to Kylie Cha. Shout out to Kukuletu.
Shout out to Palm Springs. Shout out to Loli. Shout out to what's that place?
Notre Sœur.
No, I just mentioned Notre Dame.
I don't know.
Hey, the Cassidia Valley, I don't have to
I
mention them.
buy. No,
Anyway.
it's very easy to say Johannesburg. It's very easy to say Rustenburg.
Yeah,
But then if you look work at the Kasi, then it becomes difficult because like yo, dude, he buy.
yeah, there are a lot, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, shout out to every Kasi out there in South Africa. You know, guys, keep the love and peace going. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, we love you all, and thank you for tuning in. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we need to get to the topic of the day.
The topic of today is,
and you know, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And so many people can relate to it.
Exactly.
And it's something that we haven't done before. This is our third episode. I think the first two episodes were a bit heavy. So I think we're taking things a bit lighter, although there's elements of it that are quite heavier. But we are discussing
Yeah.
after tears.
Yeah.
The
we're
phenomenon of
discussing-
after tears.
Yeah, the phenomenon and you know the culture that is in our townships. You know.
Yeah.
We've all experienced that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
no one who can attend the after tears.
No,
Maybe
Tawa
one
Wama.
day, I don't
What's
know.
our Lemashon?
Or came across it after tears.
Mm.
Yeah.
Tawa Lemashon.
So typically in the townships, ne?
Mhm.
So during the funeral services, there's two, programs that are official, right? The first one either is a go charity whereby there's a tent which has been erected, or I mean,
Mhm.
or it can happen in the church if somebody like or
Yeah.
right? That is the first program whereby the neighbors will talk,
Uh-huh.
and then obviously the priest or the church will officiate that. That is the first official program.
Mm.
Now the second one is the one that happens at the cemetery.
True.
Typically, there's two official programs, but there is an unofficial one, right?
Mm.
Which happens automatically, which is part of the norm now. And it's called the after tears.
Wait, after tears, bro. You see teens there?
Yeah, and they happen with 99%, certainty that indeed they would happen. To an extent whereby actually people plan, dude. People buy new clothes, camp chairs, alcohol, just to attend the after tears.
Yeah, I really want to take it to like when traditionally,
Yeah.
or according to our black our traditions,
Mhm.
obviously they differ from tribe to tribe, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, when there's a funeral, right?
Mm.
Obviously, it's a time of mourning. People are sad, it's grief,
Mhm.
and the mourners there, to as part of the community to come and to
Mm.
grieve with the family,
Show respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, while I was growing up, I used to obviously witness that. I
Mm.
remember when like those funerals, Mokasi,
Mm.
we didn't used to go out as bana, they just tell you go sit in the house,
Mm.
because we
Guys, don't make noise.
exactly,
Yeah, keep
exactly.
the volume, down and
You know,
all those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, and even after a funeral, that respect was still there. I mean that solemn respect to say, we understand what happened, and I guess even the family,
Yeah.
that has
The bereaved
lost
family.
someone. The
Yeah.
bereaved family
Yeah.
that lost someone.
Mm.
Obviously, you need to pay respect,
Mhm.
and I think I would see that around our streets, and
Mhm.
you'd be like, okay, cool,
Mhm.
Then times evolved.
Yeah, because typically from the outset, the purpose of the after tears,
Mm.
was basically to celebrate the deceased life, and to comfort the family.
Yeah, yeah.
But throughout the years, it has changed. But if you look at the makeup, or the dynamics of a township, most of the people that found themselves in the township today, they come from diverse environment. It's not like Dago Makaya, whereby it's homogeneous, in terms of
True,
the customs,
true.
in terms of culture, in terms of traditions.
Mm.
So there's diversity, you know what I mean, in the townships. And what happens is that due to marriages and due to people, making this township, their homes, not going back, to their homelands, and people they've got children. So there's
Yeah.
all those cross, inter, cultural, engagement and etc. So people develop a subculture in the same way that people will develop jargons or a language in a certain country because of the diversity. And when people develop the subculture, so many of the things they changes. Things are not going to be done traditionally the way they used to be done before. You know what I mean?
True,
So
true.
there is a cultural change. The landscape of culture and tradition, it changes because of that diversity. Perhaps is the reason why we find ourselves having the after tears.
Yeah, but mostly like I wouldn't like say, oh, okay, when it comes to after tears, it's it's something that can be looked at in both ways, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some would say,
Mm.
well, this person used to live this way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And okay, it would make sense.
Mm.
But I think it's got to have a reference,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of, okay, as much as we can do this, you
Mhm.
know, but it has to have like certain limits and
Yeah.
boundaries that, you know, people can conform to, right?
Yeah. No, before we get deep into our conversation, dude,
Okay.
I would like to celebrate someone, dude. Like, I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah.
You know, in the middle of a topic that I have to step in, right?
Okay, cool.
We've got one of our crew members here, right?
Yeah.
His name is Sydney.
Yeah.
And okay, let me remove this, right?
Okay.
Because I want to say these things properly, né?
Mm.
Guys. Sydney, he is 31 years old, and he's a virgin.
It's a virgin. Oh,
Well,
damn.
It's supposed to be something amazing, dude. Like this guy, you know, respects himself, you know,
Yeah.
he lives by the values, you know, the morals. And you don't find it anymore, dude. Like in our areas, in our township, dude. Do we still have people like Sydney? Like I'm so proud to be associated with someone like that.
Yeah, man. I'm the level of you know, the discipline that he has.
Yeah.
It's impeccable. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Shout
So
out. Shout out to Zeke.
shout out to you. Kunja sending me batho ba mtholela ko social media.
Kodwa uSpanisa bang? Yeah, he's just Mulefe.
So ke Sydney Molefe ko Facebook, ko Twitter, you know, everywhere. It's just that someone that we look up to, and then we think that he has good morals. I'm sorry, man. You can continue.
Nah. No, we respect you, King. Hey, King. Eh?
Big time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as much as I was saying Big Fish Hori, I think there needs to be boundaries. And
Yeah.
you know, families are different, right?
Yep.
And you could find that say the deceased
Mm.
is a young person, right?
Yeah.
And they used to live a lavish or just like a free life, you know, like
Yeah.
just
Socialites.
going out,
Yeah.
socialite, you know, just
Mm.
being wild. And well, it's fine. We
Yeah.
understand the reason why is to yes, people would, you know, go on, or we want to celebrate this person in this type of way, right? But now I feel like your things like are just taken out of proportion in a very, very like
Yeah.
crazy way, man.
But before we get that deep into the conversation, I want to find out if is this even really about remembrance, or is just a social event for people to reconnect with old friends, you know, relatives, or just to display opulence.
I think it's both.
It can be twofold.
It can be
So
two.
the people who are genuinely going there to comfort the family and to remember, you know,
Yeah,
the deceased. But there are
true.
also other people that came there for vibes. And it's truth because, dude, I know people that don't attend the funeral, but they will definitely attend the after tears.
And the people go there for after tears
Dude,
straight
you know,
up.
I've been in situations whereby there's a funeral, ne?
Yeah.
And someone will say, man, guys, how do I attend a funeral? But get about thing for after tears.
Yeah, actually, one after tears.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It has become part of our traditions and cultures, dude. Like,
and it's ridiculously crazy. And I mean,
yeah.
look, we've all experienced after tears. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
don't take it like you know, we've never been
Yeah.
there, you know.
Yesterday, we almost,
Hey,
but we decided to behave. Yeah.
hey, yesterday.
Yeah.
Nah, obviously, nah, I wouldn't, you know, have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hence I get like I feel like it's both ways, right? But the way things are happening and yeah, the way Ubanka thing, and it's for me something that I feel like the elders, you know, are not supporting in a way.
Yeah.
Because
it's funny that you say that the elders are not supporting, because now when I was young, this, you know, a phenomenon or this tradition or whatever that you call it of, you know, after tears, I said it already, and they just like but Baba Hole. So I wonder which, you know, elders are we referring to here?
Listen,
and because most of the people that you will find indeed what after tears in
not really. Yesterday was a lot of youth, you know.
Because nearly but if it was someone
but
yeah.
But this why I go it's lost its reference, because even Lemuntu Omoholo,
yeah,
who's passed or who's passed away, you still find youth. I mean, it's ridiculous for saying an 87-year-old person who's passed,
yeah,
and you'd find young people there,
yeah,
drinking alcohol, dressed in the way that they're dressed,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
And
Well, it does. It certainly does happen.
you see,
At this stage, it doesn't matter how old you are.
that's what I'm
It
saying.
doesn't matter if you were a pastor, but people will go there and just drink.
But that's
and
that's
and-
not right, man.
Yeah.
It's morally like concerning, you know.
Yeah. But another angle that I want to take, like we spoke about the reconnection of, families, because people usually go about their work, they go to work, they focus on their families and other things that they do.
True.
So we often don't have time to reconnect with our family and friends. I think some people use it, just to reconnect with their friends, with their relatives that under normal circumstances they would not see. You know what I mean?
True.
So there's that angle, as well.
Excuse me.
And there's that angle also of opulence, right? We come from the township, we know our struggles. So we're now dealing to or whatever. So you don't have a chance or about or whatever. So
Yeah, that's the perfect place.
so After Tears is the perfect place for you to show about to Rhyme and
And people will come, but
Exactly.
definitely, yeah.
Exactly.
But Pifishi, it gets like a bit concerning, and
Yeah.
when exactly as who you've just said earlier on, Hore, people just come there for that.
Yep.
It's crazy that you can go to a funeral and think of having a cooler box filled with alcohol,
New clothes, DJ.
That one is the craziest.
The latest piano songs.
That one is the craziest.
Not even gospel songs.
There's this show
Yeah.
called After Tears.
Yeah.
I don't want to name the channel.
Yeah. Well, people know the channel. You're
Yeah.
just giving it away.
But there is that show.
Yeah, I've never watched it.
You've never watched it?
Yeah, me and TV. I only watch the news.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
dude, like people like that, dude,
Yeah.
do the utmost crazy things, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
you find people twerking,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, what's going on?
I think the dawn of democracy, created a lot of, subcultures within our townships. And with the diversity that we have,
Yeah.
it is very difficult, to establish what are the norms that are acceptable and what is not acceptable. So I think that we're going to explore, but now we want to find out what is the genesis of After Tears, right? And before we engage into that After Tears, according to some article in News 24, it says that funerals in our time used to be respected immensely, as it was, a period, to basically, comfort, the people, right? And the neighbors and close friends in the street will be, considerate. There would not be noise or any disturbance, of the bereaved family. So they said that we had rules that everyone knew that they have to pay, like television and radios, they needed to be switched off, and then the home and the people will not just come and go, as they please. But we know that, things have changed. It's no longer the same. And we're talking now about the genesis.
I think the genesis is this a party culture that we have now, and it is something that it takes on to like that point where it goes to funerals as well, which is absolutely like ridiculous, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
let's put respect, on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it comes from that. Like, we've become a society where partying is the ultimate thing. I'm not saying there's something wrong with partying, but when it comes to funerals, dude, I mean, some people lost someone whom, like, they care about, obviously. And for people to come and make noise throughout the night and playing songs, you find this guy is playing music, that guy is playing music, and it's like, you even come back, like when you pass that place, you even ask, was there a funeral here?
Yeah.
But
while people know there was a funeral, because now it has become, part of the norm. You know what I mean?
But
not necessarily making it right, but automatically people know that I want to leave automatically a third unofficial program or a party or a ceremony, whatever you call it, and I give After Tears, dude.
Hey, dude.
So to an extent whereby, I've heard people all mufuki mang.
Dude.
Mara yena o tla ba le teng for After Tears. And motho o tla ka cooler back. But there's another angle. And also touching After Tears too.
Yeah.
Spoke about opulence, about reconnection. Wa tseba hore batho ba thola lenyalo ko mafung o di After Tears.
Yo.
Hey. So, but
maybe Signy should start going to After Tears.
But to single, and some of the divorcees that I know, they will tell you, no, lenyalo le thola ko lefung. So that's why people they dress to the nines, you know.
it's something that I hear a lot, like like every time when you're in a funeral, it's something that I hear a lot.
So perhaps Sydney would want to go to After Tears.
After Tears,
Or maybe it will be a
a
perfect.
nice
Yeah,
place to
one taller. Sydney, what do you think?
but you'll get those Richard ones.
Yeah, no, certainly, like he will. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something as a society.
Yeah.
We've sort of like accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not saying it's okay or it's all right, but
Yeah.
we need to look at the reverence.
Yeah.
And also look at traditions.
Yeah.
As much as you spoke about subcultures,
Yeah.
which is obviously something that
And
see.
I hear what you're saying, but all auctioning is very difficult, man. As I've put it, there's diversity, not just in terms of our culture, in
understand?
terms of our custom, but there's diversity when it comes to religion as well. You know what I mean?
True.
So how are you going to balance everything, dude? Because somebody could, well, naki believe God and so naki believe so part one tall. So there's that diversity created in subcultures, and people I feel like they are entitled to celebrate their loved ones, whichever way that they want to.
Of
Because we're
course.
living in a democracy whereby
Of
people
course.
have rights,
Of
they've got
course.
freedom
We're
to
not- we're
express
not-
themselves and to associate with anything.
We are not saying that people shouldn't celebrate their loved ones.
Yeah.
But there needs to be a fashion that is like controlled.
Yeah.
Like that's why I say if it's a young person who used to live that life, well,
Yeah.
I'd understand, right?
Yeah.
If you had a DJ or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it especially with guys that were, gangsters,
Yeah. But
they spin cars.
Imagine
Was she from the city?
Eastern Cape somewhere, I don't know where.
Nah,
I think my sister had shoplifters. How about dangerous?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
I feel like nah,
Yeah.
okay, finish laughing.
Yeah, continue, dude. Yeah.
Fucking hard, yeah.
Yo,
dude,
fun.
yo.
Oh, yeah, sure. And now with my size, it is not healthy, guys. So, what is so? I know. Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Podcast here.
Yeah, don't fall, bro.
Yeah,
Don't
sure.
fall. Yeah, but I feel like, dude, like, okay, if
Yeah.
if you used to live that kind of life,
Yeah.
well, it's understandable, bro. But I want to put more emphasis on
Yeah.
the elderly.
Yeah, the elderly people.
Yes.
Yeah, if it's respect for them, right?
You can have
Yeah.
elder people like coming to a funeral,
Yeah.
and of course they knew the deceased.
But
Right?
ba pele ko hlompha mmao le ntatao.
I understand.
Matsatsi a o lefatsheng a oketse.
So
Come on now, Tebo.
if utlofitla,
Yeah.
and I mean they're seeing all these girls with short skirts, and it for me it's not right, man.
Yeah.
It's not right. Like me looking at that, it just like makes me like wanna go. Like I just
Yeah.
sometimes I just
Guys, can I get something, please? My high blood is up. Yeah.
what do you want?
Hey, dude, like I think I sweat. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I need alcohol.
Hey, fun. Yo, I otherwise would like a podcast. So I just want to find out, man. Is it sincere celebration of the deceased, or it's just an excuse for alcoholism, right? And I want to give a background as to why I'm saying this, right?
Yeah.
Because during the olden days, dude, like even like about the 90s, the only aspect whereby is only a week later. And it will not be like your alcohol as we know it today, but it will be like traditional, gumboot, right? That will only be the time whereby alcohol is involved.
True.
But before that, alcohol will not be involved. People just come, they eat, and then they go. Right? I mean, so I'm asking whether it is just a sincere celebration or it's just an excuse for alcoholism.
It is.
Which is very much into our society.
I think the latter applies.
Yeah.
It's that excuse. Since I mentioned, young people now, the culture of partying, it's been taken to another level. So it is definitely is an excuse of alcoholism.
And even that time they would the only people that will be drinking, ke batho ba bagolo.
Mm,
You
mm.
know, you wouldn't find any young person
In
drinking
a,
ka dikharap
in a
or
respectable
ka
manner.
dihlobolo, for that matter.
In a
Yeah.
respectable manner, the thing, it was conducted in a respectable manner, inside the yard. You wouldn't find like, elderly people going out and like
Yeah.
drinking outside, playing music loud, It was just honest conversations,
Mm.
remembering the deceased,
Yeah.
memories that they shared with them,
Yeah.
That's the culture that
But someone may say that culture evolves.
it does.
Something which was done, in the past doesn't necessarily need to apply today. Culture evolve, people evolve.
True, they
People
do.
move.
And hence we're covering this topic, right?
Yeah.
Hence we're covering this topic because
Yeah.
Things evolve,
Yeah.
culture evolves, and traditions evolve too.
Yeah.
Because it's a tradition, this thing,
Yeah. And people might say that it is not necessarily alcoholism, but then it's part of the fibre of society. It's a reflection of our society. Whether it's a funeral, whether it's a wedding, whatever, people do drink.
A lot.
So it's the way in which people are socialized.
Mhm.
Guys, please, can I get something? I need to wipe myself, please. I don't look cute like this.
Sounded very wrong. I'll wipe myself.
Yo, please don't start. Don't start. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
you,
see,
you think it's just an excuse for alcoholism, which is a huge challenge that we have in our society. Alcoholism, dude.
Jazo, check in my bag on the side.
Yeah.
I do have something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see,
Like
so
Guy Savior, this cock. Yeah.
you understand. So it's something a little crazy in that manner,
Yeah.
You can throw it this way.
Thank you very much. So
Thank you,
mo
sir.
talk feeling that ngeke seat no na bua ka ena eli.
The virgin.
The Virgin Sydney.
Yeah, so where were we? Damn.
Yeah, we were on alcoholism.
Alcoholism, yeah. When I say, and I feel like I find that the way people drink now,
Mm.
it's something that's more than alcohol
So we've got deep problems
it's a deep, especially after COVID, bro.
and we don't want to talk.
Especially
Even
after,
before topic, South Africa has been one of those
yeah,
countries.
but
Any heavy drinkers coke.
listen, and what I've observed,
Yeah.
before COVID, yes, people used to drink. I used to drink, sharp,
Yeah.
but there wasn't that sort of like anger that people have. Like our problems were problems, right?
Yeah, but I you know what? I disagree with you there. South Africa has, especially in our township, dude, people have always had anger. With the history that we have, dude, people have always had anger issues, dude.
After
Man,
COVID,
dude, listen, you must understand, dude, that these people were traumatized. Our parents, dude, were traumatized, and they raised us, dude. You know how many? Like they would go open and you can scale up primary, dude. Ne? I remember Negeta Sabi. I don't know what it's called now. I'm revealing my age.
So P, isn't it?
Grade 2.
yeah.
Ne? Negeta grade 2 komtsane. Shout out to Mtsane Primary School. So so in fact,
No.
and that I get to address some, by the way, it's so sad, man, right?
Yeah.
So one teacher, I think that class in A1, we were like 45, right?
Used to be 45 in your class.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, I went to government school throughout my life, dude. Yeah, so kibo mang bana badulang lemme lintad. Dude,
Aish.
only 4 people raised their hands.
Ah.
And it didn't even make sense to me that time
Ah,
until I was a little bit
shit.
older and matured and understood things. And I was like, hell no. So you mean
lie.
that, dude, you can ask Zip because we were in the same class.
Yo.
But at that time, because like I was young, dude, like I could not comprehend what was happening, dude. But then the older that I became and the maturer, when I learned things and I understood our demographics and our history. And it was such a sad, situation. So I'm just addressing the fact that we've always been those people because of our history. But we're gonna the anger, issues, dude, because we come from the parents and they've experienced the worst, dude, and they were traumatized by the old system.
Oh. No, that's scary.
Yeah, that's why Rona Bontateba today. Please, guys, we need to be responsible for our kids. Come on now.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Thank you.
Amen.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like I understand those problems, like when we work our parents and what they had to carry, inside of them.
Yeah.
But never saw, man. Like okay, look at it from this point,
Yeah.
how females used to drink alcohol. right?
Sure, banana ba ona tje ba no.
Ba nwa dipia. Ke go ke tlhakatlhakanyo fela, wa utlwisisa. But
Hey,
look, we're not judging anyone.
no, not judging, mara
Do your
yo.
thing, but these are facts, you know.
Hey.
These are facts. These are things we see on the street, you know.
Madiba, I want to ask you a question. You know, and not that I'm deviating, ne?
Yeah.
Still on that subject of our parents, ne?
Mm.
But I don't want to make an example, Gawin, all right? Sai.
Damn, bro. Ush.
Okay, no, let me not make example by any one of us now because I don't want it to be more personal. But a lot of people, they've now my dad died when I was 2 years, right? So I've never had an experience of having a father until I had my own children. So that's when I started to have that relationship of that also one also, right? Because I was raised by women. I've never seen any of my friends but a hug from one or even from one for that mate. It was just a foreign thing. But these days we do it and it just shows you how traumatized these people were. Whereby they couldn't even show affection to their own kids. Few kids that will tell you they used to receive calls from their dad saying, I love you, or oh, you did. Never.
You mean back then?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Came in 90s, 2000, but previously, dude, a lot of people will tell you stories. Or the na muaga neki mita aus. And I'm sorry to deviate a table. So another question, dude, I would like to pose is that is it fair for the bereaved family, dude, right, to actually experience such a thing, especially if maybe the deceased was a member or a leader of a church or someone who is being respected, who holds a certain a position within a society, for them to go through that whereby they were not drinking, they were men of God, and but to keep us about during funeral ya bona. Is it fair for the families?
Into ke buileng, earlier
Yeah.
on, before you take ke ska dive deep into it. And
Yeah.
it's not fair when it comes to that, because hence I said, if you live that life, I mean, surely we understand. Okay, we don't mind. Go hire DJs, go do whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're a young person, maybe you live that way. You need to be celebrated that way.
Yeah,
It only
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Sharp. But then when you speak about Ovele, a leader of a church, and not someone as a social light, and such things are happening, and you find Bommeba Seaparo are there, and having to witness that, and I said, manyane.
Okay, sorry. Marabano.
Manyane. Wabo.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's quite crazy. And Kiki mentioned hore, when I started noticing that, and seeing that trend, or man, this thing, it doesn't feel well.
It's
man.
getting out of control.
It doesn't feel right
Yeah.
for an elderly person to see such things from the deceased, who was like someone who's well respected in their church.
Because I would imagine someone on who was a leader, their send off needs to be dignified.
Dignified,
Because if it's truth, then we expect
Then why can't you apply that when it comes to someone who they were church goer,
Yeah.
or someone who nasane bjwala,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can postpone your opulence and your new clothes. Let's just respect this individual.
You understand?
Because they've lived their life in such a way that when they've died, they deserve that dignified.
Yeah, if we're gonna
Funeral,
place
control.
that thing over, no, they used to live this way. Then
Yeah.
why can't you do it when it comes to that such people?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, big fish, and it's something that I think people need to start looking at.
Yeah.
And forget already. Yeah, we helping the family mourn.
Yeah.
It's no, I said mourn. Sorry.
Whatever, dude, it's not our first language. You can break it.
We're helping the family mourn.
Yeah.
I think we need to start looking at such things
Mhm.
and look at ourselves as communities.
Yeah.
Especially Komakasi guys.
Yeah.
I think we need to start looking at that
Yeah.
and actually, examining the type of people that we've become.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
And it could lead to us having to have morals back in society. And it's very important that we speak about such things.
Yeah. So do you think that like this event is just like a reflection of how uncultured and immoral our societies have become?
Definitely, big fish.
Yeah.
We are a party society, dude.
I
There's
will.
nothing else that After Tears symbolizes
Yeah.
except partying.
And it happens throughout South African townships.
Exactly.
And I saw an article, dude. Apparently, that thing the way it's so huge in South Africa, it even went to our neighboring countries. There's an article about the After Tears Double One. I was like, yo, that means
Yeah,
everywhere they
yeah.
have
Did
it.
you see it?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
I saw
like,
that
I was
article.
looking at it, and
Yeah,
when we were doing research, I was like, damn,
yeah.
okay. I thought it was a South African thing.
Even our neighboring countries,
I
dude.
thought it was a South African
Dude,
thing.
Mamela, we are here for vibes.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, and well, some people may say, who are like, this, culture owner, yeah, the party, it's part of our, culture, because black people, right?
Mm,
A lot of us, especially South Africans, but Africans in general,
yeah.
whether it's a toy, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a wedding, we always sing, we drink. Maybe it's part of our culture. I don't know. But we also spoke about subcultures and the evolving, culture. I don't know, dude. But whatever that we do, whether whether it's a celebration, including the toy. If you see, a union, right, organizing a demonstration or a strike for the
Yeah.
employees, the toy, they're going to sing.
But that's for a cause,
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Can't say they can drink and whatever,
Yeah.
but they're united for a certain cause that
Yeah.
they wanna get the message throughout. Right?
Yeah.
And I guess alcohol gives them energy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not I don't think
Yeah.
they're doing something that's
Yeah.
not exhausting. I think it's pretty much exhausting.
So do you think that this is foreign to African traditions, foreign to African, customs?
I mean,
The way
throughout Africa.
of doing things, even just for South Africa. Do you think like this phenomenon or this practice, of after tears, you know what I mean? Do you think that it's foreign to how Africans should do them things? But now we can talk about, the spirit of Ubuntu, the way we do things. Like Ubuntu speaks about, doing things, diligently.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to respect, and dignity. You know what I mean? Do you think that, we are anti that at the moment? Spirit of Ubuntu,
At some point, Ubuntu Buteng, because I would say that
just by the attendance.
not
guess
not
Ubuntu
just the
would-
attendance as
yeah.
well. When there's a funeral, you still have people who come
Yeah.
to help with catering,
Mm.
cooking. If the family is say decided that they wanna slaughter a cow, you still find
Yeah.
fathers or men that go and help.
Yeah.
People help throughout the whole week of the
Yeah.
funeral for the preparations.
Yeah.
So I still say
Mm.
there is Ubuntu within that
Practice
within
that,
that
that practice at the funeral,
yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe
but not the after tears.
the after tears is just been taken to another level.
There's
There's nothing wrong with drinking, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with you saying, okay, we wanna talk and remember the person
Yeah.
in that man in that fashion.
Yeah.
The problem becomes when there's loud music,
Mm.
people don't sleep,
Yeah.
people tend to go there for vibes.
Yeah.
That's where my problem is.
Like some people may say that usually when there is a funeral, dude, people become very, hopeless. People moan, people miss their loved ones, dude. And they become lonely as well, dude. So
True.
sometimes the way in which, we can comfort, each other is through, doing those things, you know what I mean?
True,
Whilst we
true.
are there, but obviously there needs to be a limit. Fair enough. You can, talk about, comforting families, especially if, someone lived that life. But dude, I saw after tears, yeah, voice my R5. Yo, I man,
Okay, I'll say Pitor.
yeah, Pitor.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that music? Yeah, Pitor. Pakad.
Pakad.
Any other Kenya Pakad.
Yeah, but
After tears, yeah, hi, Neri was cope.
exactly, that's why Kecho, for him, it's fine.
Yo, nabashapa Pakad. King dance le abona ba etsa so. Ba ibitsa dance le abona il. Engane go twerk. What do they call that dance? I never shapa dance umfana.
But it's fine. He
Basapara.
used to live that life,
But what about like the neighbors are high, the parents are high? Should they accept it because that pillar as So bona but is every respect. I don't know. Dude. It's just- yeah.
Probably that's why Kecho. Maybe if it was done, let's say, in let's say if they book a venue and say okay, we want to celebrate him in this way,
Yeah.
it would make sense.
Yeah.
Yes, to have like say like a mini after tears concert in a certain venue where people can go and gather there
Yeah.
and do all these things that celebrate
But
the
baska ichuna live.
life as well.
Collocation.
I think that one is beyond our control.
Yeah.
It's very out of our control, and there's nothing that we can do about
But
it.
I wonder, like, if you are a parent, dude, ne? Or our parents,
True.
but shebile re tshuna da dentse good after tears. I wonder what goes on into their mind. They probably think that we have failed our children because in that
Mm,
they
mm,
probably say that we have failed, the children, because bari ikodwa isa limits.
mm,
And the things like respect, things like values, things like morals, you are taught at home, and
mm,
whatever how you behave outside is a reflection of the way the way that you've been socialized,
mm,
and what has been instilled, go in. So I wonder, the parents that already shaped the tuna that into for the after teasing banana.
Hey, dude, I think it's okay. Besides all banana ing and
Yeah.
for the parents of say the deceased,
Mm, mm,
and I mean losing a child is something
mm,
else, it's not easy to deal with,
mhm,
and I guess the day of the funeral is probably the worst day that you want to deal with, Guyana, and
mm.
it's obviously there, but we need to also respect families, that have lost,
Yep. Because
I
they're
think
going
it
through a lot.
starts there. It
Yeah, because
starts there, honestly.
they're mourning, so they expect, that kind of, respect.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
why I
and
get
dignity.
you cannot have an after tears that drags on till tomorrow AMs, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, what are we expecting? Like,
yeah,
what are we expecting, honestly? Like,
yeah.
are we saying that,
Nanga bitsa maponis. Create for that drama.
for real?
Nah, I'm lying.
I thought that.
Kabe khanik ba bitsitse. Yeah,
Yeah, but let's just like have some respect in terms of after tears. I mean, it's a tradition. It goes on. Um, we all like have experienced it. Some people love it.
yeah,
It's a great thing
yeah. So
for comforting.
yeah,
And we're not
let's have a
just
limit. Let's have
yeah.
let's
That's all
have
we're
boundaries.
asking. That's all we're
You
asking,
know what I
guys.
mean?
That's all
Yeah.
we're asking.
So, Deb, obviously, do you think that there's social and economic effects, of this after tears? And the reason why I'm asking that is because in our previous episodes, right, we have discussed, the social ills, within our townships, right? We spoke about unemployment, we spoke about drugs, you know what I mean? We
Mm.
spoke about poverty. But then here we are during the after tears, we are displaying opulence, we are buying this alcohol, we are buying new clothes. What is the social and economic impact of this thing?
Dude, it's huge, dude.
Yeah.
It's very huge, and I, at some point, dude, I guess I could see
Because
we've lost
because I imagine, a breadwinner who has just, lost his life. You know what I mean? Their families, dude, they're panicking, they're hopeless, right? And
exactly.
that money, after chasing, I'm sure it would do something for Banaba High. Obviously, people are entitled to spend the money however they want to,
True.
right? But I wonder if shelter or in the wrong things. Couldn't some nati fail. You know what I mean? Because Banabao, after the after tears, after those expensive bottles,
Yeah.
school fees, Dijon, what's going to happen?
True. Like we
Our
don't
priorities.
look at the long term effects of losing a breadwinner, as
Yeah.
you just mentioned.
Yeah.
As can we play a role to say yes, you know, ho tlo etsahalang? We knew this person as
Yeah.
a breadwinner in this
Yep.
household.
Yeah.
So ho tlo etsahalang ka bana?
I wonder if, we organized ourselves, right? And then we combined our
Oh,
resources,
okay.
right?
Based
So
on
that they
that,
can go towards, that family, so that
based on that,
Yeah.
I think there is sort of like a mini
like the society.
the
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
it's not enough. I mean,
it's not enough. True.
society is not enough to sustain a child through tertiary education or badala school
True.
fees. So society normally is just for the or arrange the funeral
Mhm.
so that batho ha ba zogala ba thole something ya ho kaolo.
True.
So I don't think they'll do enough. But I wonder, dude, if maybe those funds they could go in uplifting, those kids of the deceased or their families for that matter, especially if the deceased were breadwinners.
But you think that's not our responsibility or what?
Yeah. So another angle table that
No, I'm asking, like,
yeah.
don't you think people will be like, but it's not our responsibility?
Yeah, but then you see, then it goes back to the question of Ubuntu. It goes back to the question of morality. It goes back to the question of values.
Mm.
So if we are a moral society that care for each other, because the spirit of Ubuntu is that we care for each other. You treat your neighbors as part of your family. That's African Ubuntu. That's how we were brought up. So if you're not going, if you're not going to go back, to those basic values that we lived by in the past, then we can speak about being immoral and being uncultured.
Mm.
And all. So I wanted to take a different angle, ne?
Yeah.
So there's been so many surveys that have been done, right? But I'm not gonna quote any one of them, right? But they seem to have like the same conclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they look at the people that earn a salary, and I mean majority of South Africans, their salaries can only sustain them for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and it's because of debts, number one, and it's because of overspending. And then now we work at the after tears, and we know the expenditure. We know, dude, what's going on. They go crazy at the after tears.
Yeah. I guess that's where opulence is more prevalent.
Yeah.
When we think about that.
Yeah. So I wonder if stuff like that, spending our money according to wrong, if it does not contribute to the social ills that we have today and the economic factors, because we know, dude, like what and there's so many issues. Maybe like the priorities that on they need to be aligned. And this is not a criticism, but it's just a conversation. So obviously, our audience as well, they are welcome, to make their inputs.
Yeah. I mean, that's why when we speak here, ne,
Yeah.
we're not addressing how
Yeah.
this is what we think should be done, or it's a conversation
Yeah.
that also needs our views to interact with.
Yeah.
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 So don't come and tomorrow, guys, and then tell us the way that you think we should have said 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember, we are basically a community, lorona.
Yeah.
Classified culture is a community. and
Yeah.
We engage in topics till everyone is welcome to engage in.
Yeah, because someone might say that we need to give the families, to go through the sadness, to give them, dignity, during that time. And some people might say that, funerals, but it's not a celebration. It's actually families, mourning.
True.
So this, culture, you know what I mean, of, celebrating, of, yeah, man, as I was saying, like, this culture of celebrations, this culture, of after tears, so many of the scholars, they consider it as an African, hence we do it so bad.
And another thing that I feel it's pretty much dangerous, and
Yeah.
when you speak of the new generation,
Mm.
obviously they see, okay, this is how things are done when
Yeah.
there's a funeral.
Yeah.
Are we really a culture or a generation right now
Yeah, which is encouraging
yeah, and really showing that young people,
it's okay
to do this in
during a
funerals.
funeral. Yeah.
It's okay to twerk in funerals.
Yeah.
But during after a funeral,
Yeah.
is it okay to drink excessively and buy expensive bottles?
Yeah.
Is it a culture that we are trying to show that opulence is a good thing in terms of when we are attending a funeral? It's something that needs to show.
No, I doubt it. We don't wanna. We wanna, raise, children that got values, that have got, morals.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean? That are behaving, that know what are good or acceptable,
True,
standards,
big
norms.
fish.
We need to socialize them in such a way that they become responsible adults.
Exactly,
And I
bro.
think at the moment we are doing a bad job. And dude, this is not a take on anyone else, because even ourselves, we do attend those after tears, but it's just a reflection, of our society and even ourselves, man. To say that, guys, is it really necessary? Is it worth it? If our societies, we need to, develop, we need to expand, and then we need to create, future leaders. Our current, social, issues, are they conducive for us to create those future leaders? Probably not.
Exactly, bro. It's something when we started the show, right? I talked about how I saw how funerals, were so revered, and now leading to when times changed, as I grew older,
Yeah.
and starting to see this trend,
Yeah.
of these after tears,
Yeah.
it's something that
And when I share with the 10 lady after tears, Lema one will go after tears.
no. Okay.
No sir, go after tears.
Nah, I mean,
We're
chilling here, Moscow.
What about those people that say Nag totally nyalo go after tears? Nag totally friendship go after tears?
It's
What
not.
about those families saying, well, now I got a sponsor education, go after tears?
I got to reconnect
Yes,
with my
with my relatives,
Yeah.
and then have
Look,
a family again.
it's
What
that-
about those families that say, hey, Rona, in fact, during after tears, we were comforted. People supported us, they came in numbers,
Ooh.
and we love that. What about that?
That's why I said to you that it can be both ways, right?
It can be twofold.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no negative, it's not a positive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of that, and
Yeah.
according to Olore, you know how families perceive it, right?
Yeah.
Some families love that.
Yeah. Some
It's
people
a
just love
tradition
it.
in their families.
Like
you know.
family Abusai.
You know,
They love
it's
that.
they
Yeah.
whenever there's a funeral, it's like a party.
Yep.
Cool. That's how
Batho ba
they
zwakala.
yeah, that's how they gather around as a family.
And you know what happens after the funerals happens, ne?
Mm,
Go the WhatsApp group or like during those, awkward family meetings, right?
yeah.
Ba tlo re, yo le bone batho ba sa potile jwang. Ho no le monate ne? At that time
Yeah.
we bua ka funeral.
Yeah, they do that.
Batho ne ba tletse, mare ba thutile sharp. One tall.
Mm.
Sydney wants to say something. Sydney, the version of the podcast. Please, what do you want to say? You raised your hand.
Okay, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
We'll give you time to say shit, bro.
Yeah, he wants to say something. That is our colleague. That's Sydney the Virgin. You can follow him, on Facebook. Your surname again?
Molefe.
No,
That's Sydney Molefe.
Yeah.
So I saw you raising your hand, dude.
But
You wanted to add your
Right.
2 cents worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Na ne ke batla ho botsa hore what about ba ba sa jeng e? Ba fitlang funeral and then mona ba ja. How do you guys see that as?
Massaging.
Yeah.
Well,
Like commies or
okay.
ba khotsi or
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. No. I hear what you're saying. When I see, and this thing, it feels familiar because one of our members here go podcasting, which we know, but we're not gonna name him, right? Because we love him so much. But I don't think that the discussion for today is Sydney, because we're not discussing funeral practices but like necessarily, but we're discussing the after tears, right? But what I would say, ne, if you do that with your family, if when I go lifung and then you don't eat, you don't participate, when now like lifu or any event for that matter, people are gonna do that for you. It's the same way if outside my labor, outside my about when I'm lonely busy, people are gonna do the same to you. They're simply not gonna come to that funeral. So the show the paying when expecting people or get a lining badge, they will never do that because so it's just how it is communication alone. Something that you do, other people are gonna do it to you as well. So yeah.
I mean, the issue of food, you know what? Not everybody loves to eat digital mapu, and sometimes
People love eating jotama food.
I said not everyone.
Majority, dude, have you seen people running?
Well, listen, when I say not everyone,
Yeah.
yes, that means there's certain people who don't. And sometimes it comes with appetite, where you could, have been have eaten before coming to the funeral. So now you have to force yourself to eat because you.
I don't think you need to force yourself to eat, right? If it's that one instance, whereby you do not eat, in a funeral, it's okay. Maybe like Ojile somewhere. Or
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or Mavoso how pay it, right?
Yeah.
But if it becomes a pattern whereby in your neighborhood, where not all the time when there's funerals, you don't eat, don't think or the people won't do the same.
No.
I want to let something go ahead.
First of all,
if it becomes a pattern.
Wait, first of all, most funeral foods will make your tummy run.
I no, I do not think so. Now you're now you say shambatsa about pay. Abayetse or malabato atsamaye.
Yeah, well,
not at all.
remember when there's a funeral, it's not your family that cooks. It's
No, that's my family.
community
It's my family.
that cooks,
My
so,
family cooks.
and you know how they cook sometimes.
No. But either way, whether
let's not
the food le jeng mafunga batho ne otherwise if alisa jelo nna batho letsa jwalo. And something like batho thasha ka yona dude, like normally, the second program, right? Your funeral. It's a halang ko mabitleng ne. Before you conclude it, normally like a pastor or someone who was an MC would call, the family member or an elder, to say thank you, and then maybe more higher, relepeti, what. Dude, when people just hear that we're gonna reach that conclusion, people they just start walking. I can see what about Mama after tears.
Of course.
What about Mama line like.
Of course, it's after tears, bruh.
All right. For fear of deviating, dude, like there's one scholar, Kebaluine. He once wrote something that I found that it was, very profound. He says that funerals have been evidenced by the kind of quietness which did not even allow a radio to be played in a village. He says that for me, we are fast losing our identity because in Africa, death is not celebrated but mourned. So therefore, it is foreign for Africans to celebrate. Hence, we do it wrongly because it does not belong to us. Baloyi further says that the dignity and sadness that gives the family an opportunity to mourn their loved ones had been derailed by this new culture.
Yeah, man.
So if someone had a question that perhaps that needs to happen because the deceased was living that a life
That type of
of being a
lifestyle.
socialite, here's an answer for you, and it goes back to our olden days and what we are as Africans, how we define ourselves, how we do these practices, how we engage with each other, especially during those ceremonies.
Yeah, true, man. I mean, a lot has changed, for granted. I think we spoke about that. And I think that's why we need to have a balance, when it comes to, the reverence of a funeral and also the mourning part afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Because there's always that. And well, to say that after tears have become what it has in our culture, in our societies, in our communities, it's something that not aiskaetswa, but let it be done, to a certain point where
There needs to be
the
limits,
reverence is
boundaries.
still perceived, reserved. I mean,
Yeah.
So to read that quote of Etamwebua, it hits, home. And when you think going back, and when you see the way things are going forward, it really is something that I think we as a people we need to look at and really challenge, the
Society,
type of
challenge ourselves. Yeah.
of culture that we've created as young people, more especially.
Yeah, if it's conducive, because young people are the future leaders. So we
Yeah.
cannot blame what we found here and say, well, our parents used to do the same thing, but we need to show initiative, because at the end of the day, it's all about our future. And I
Yeah,
believe that we can change the circumstances.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
We are concluding.
Okay, well, to conclude, I'm just gonna read from here. Let's do this, Panyani, so that I can. The conclusion basically reads that while it is perceived as a celebration, the important functions of okay, wait. First of all, Ane, I'm reading this from the 2012 thesis by Sitsiba and Tiny Happy Sarah, right?
We are not plagiarizing, guys.
Yeah.
We do our research.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is an extract from that.
Yeah.
So it says, while it is perceived as a celebration, the important functions of this party were indicated as comforting and supporting the bereaved and helping them to cope with the impact of loss of a loved one. On the other hand, others condemned the practice as totally disrespectful and that it is insensitive of people to hold a party while other people are still in mourning. It hurts the bereaved and delays the chances of recovery from grief. The after tears party can be effective coping strategy if it was conducted in a more respectful manner.
I agree. I certainly agree with that, because I think while we accept that culture evolves,
True.
but I think that we need to refine it. It's a good that people, when they are bereaved, there's so many people that come there to comfort the family. But then as we conclude, we touched on so many aspects of this topic. We touched on the economic, and the social impact. We touched on the religious and morality,
Yes, sir.
aspect of it. But then I think in conclusion, what needs to happen is that we need to refine it. And how do we refine it? The center, or the people that need to be prioritized, are the bereaved family.
True.
Let's make it in such a way that everything is centered around them, not centered around us,
And what we
or
want.
drink, or what we want, and all those
Yeah.
kind of things
Because at
that
the end of the
don't
day-
matter. But what matters most for the bereaved family is for them to be comforted in their times of loss.
Exactly,
And I think
sir.
we should refine this after tears. It can be a good coping mechanisms, but I feel like it should not degenerate. But we must refine it in such a way that it doesn't even affect our fiscals, doesn't affect our children, because we do overspend, we do buy new clothes, but we should be refined and remember that the center of everything is the bereaved families.
Amen, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, to conclude, Lynn, on my part, I mean, it's something that I feel like, as black people,
Yeah.
we need to really now understand and look at ourselves, where we come from,
Mm.
where our traditions take us from, where our culture started.
Mm,
You know, it's so sad to see a generation
mm,
as young as we are
mm.
having these type of traditions,
Losing
and
ourselves.
yes,
Mm.
and having, you know, to uplift this after tears thing. We're not saying we're not guilty of
Mm,
it.
mm,
Do you understand?
mm.
Because I think it's something that it's now a conformity.
It's a norm.
Yeah,
It's a norm.
you know, we
It's automatic. We already know, dude. If something happens, dude, we're coming there
after
for after
tears.
tears.
I understand.
Na reka diphahlo.
So to conclude, guys, let's look at where we come from.
Yep.
You know, let's respect where we come from.
Yeah.
Let's respect the type of funerals that we go to as well. I think that's very important. You
Let's
know,
look at the status of a person
yes, you
before we
know.
think about, an after tears.
Yeah,
And let's look at the
the
legacy that those people
the legacy
leave
that
behind.
the person left behind.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to go to a that's why, like, okay, let's say that's why you find some people will say, I would never go to a funeral of a gangster, no matter how famous they were, because you know what's gonna happen there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You understand? And
Stray
if-
bullet, dude.
Bruh.
Many things that they can happen. I think there was, one of the funerals of those kind of people where someone actually died, and that person was not even attending the funeral.
it's so sad.
Yeah, it is sad
And
indeed.
and do you remember while there was still train surfing?
Yes, I
That
do remember.
train,
Sparapar.
yeah, even like
Mm.
when some of them, like those guys, when they passed away,
Mm.
to go to their funerals and after tears, like it was so crazy.
I once went to one when I was much younger
Mm.
and irresponsible, and I regretted that day, dude. I was like, "Man, ne ke ya kae?" But ne ke mo tseba motho wa teng, what I mean?
You see,
Yeah, but it was crazy, dude.
so in terms of okay, we're saying don't have after tears. No, it's
No,
fine.
we're not saying people must not have after
But
tears.
let
It can
it
be a good concept.
let
dude.
it be
Responsible.
responsible. Let
Yeah.
it be respectful,
Yeah.
and let it have an impact on that type of person. No le motho a jwang,
Yep.
o utlwisisa.
Yep.
Yeah. In conclusion, guys,
Yeah.
we're still gonna have a lot of after tears, and you probably will see us there too.
No, you definitely will never see me go after tears. If you see me at a funeral, I would probably be preaching or singing, but not attending an after tears. Guys, it's Classified Culture Podcast hashtag
Wait.
everywhere. We are there on all social media platforms, guys. So please go ahead and support us. Because as I always say, if you don't subscribe, let's not shoot this.
Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
before we close, we just want to say, we heard what happened during the past week to our brother,
Mhm.
one of South Africa's famous DJs, Nkosinathi Mapumulo, popularly known as DJ Black Coffee.
Mhm.
And guys, we really say speedy recovery to you, my brother.
Yep.
You know, we really need you, and we're backing up you as a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stay strong, keep fighting.
Probably South Africa is one of the greatest exports.
Yeah, I mean,
Who has represented us very well
Grammy
internationally.
winner,
Yeah, award winning. You know what I mean? Grammy award winning.
my brother, get
Yeah.
well, my brother, and we hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
And guys, yeah, as my brother said, guys, don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Lovely that you joined us.
We love hearing your comments. Please engage.
Yeah, lovely that you joined us.
Yeah.
And from the team,
Yeah.
thank you to Sai, thank you to
Sydney the Virgin.
Classified.
and my host, Big Beast.
We love you so much, guys.
It's
Yeah.
another wrap.
Yeah.
We'll see you again next week, right?
Yeah.
for-
Next week, if we decide to shoot.
No,
we
we
will.
are, bro. Hey, Baba. Hey, listen. We're dropping. We're dropping.
Thanks very much, guys, for watching. As always, sharp,
Peace,
sharp.
love, and
Bye.
out.
Thank you.